Okay, well, so I've been talking about Trump here and uh, doing some research. They really have not ever had a single thing on Trump to prove that he's guilty of hanging out with Epstein and doing some dirty stuff. Like molesting little girls. And and in fact, I guess here's the reason why Trump quit associating with Epstein. It was because Epstein stole one of the people that worked for him, in a sense, stole or took her, convinced her to come work for him. So, and she was working in the spa, gave massages, all that kind of stuff. So uh, he was a, he was stealing from Trump, somebody that was his employee, and so he was mad about it and disowned him over it. Even though later he still said, "Oh yeah, he was a decent guy." But there has not been one single accusation of impropriety by Trump with underage women. Nor does it say that even that he knew that he was child trafficking, that Epstein was child trafficking young girls. And why is the information hidden from us? Is because Epstein had people all over the country, world, that he was blackmailing or had the power to blackmail, because he would provide them with young women and they would do their dirty deeds. And then once they did, Epstein had leverage over them. Now we wonder, why did Epstein die? Did he kill himself? Or were there so many powerful, rich people out there that couldn't allow the leak of any information about them from Epstein? So they killed him. It's obvious. And there is more news that says that there were guards that said, well, something happened right before Epstein died, and we saw something. And I can't remember exactly what it was. But they want to, oh no, how, he didn't hurt nobody. Nobody killed him. He killed himself because he was guilty. Well, no, he was guilty the whole time. So why would he be killing himself? Well, they got him trapped in a room and somebody offed him, because evidently there's some pretty big names out there. So, yeah, I'll just read you a little bit why it matters. Trump's personal relationship with Epstein has come under renewed scrutiny after the Department of Justice announced earlier this month that it would not release any more files related to the Epstein investigation, despite previous promises to the contrary from Attorney General Pam Bondi. The department also said it found no Epstein client list, and that the wealthy financier and convicted sex offender died by suicide in a federal jail cell in August 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. So that's the statement made. The decision to not release any more files angered parts of Trump's base of supporters, and the case continues to garner attention and conspiracy theories because of Epstein's ties to many prominent people, including royals, presidents, and billionaires. Why are these the people that are pedophiles? The rich, the uppity ups in social circles and what have you. Why are they the ones targeted for pedophiles? I don't know. I guess greed, hunger does something to twist desires that would be normally natural. The Wall Street Journal reported earlier this month that Bondi told Trump during a May briefing that his name was in the files related to Epstein's case. The inclusion of someone's name in files from the investigation does not imply wrongdoing. The president has denied prior knowledge of Epstein's crimes and has not been accused of wrongdoing in connection with the convicted sex offender. I've known later for Jeff, or I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. Trump was quoted as saying in a New York Magazine profile of Epstein in October 2002, "He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do." And many of them are on the younger side. Okay, well, then Trump had some kind of indication that he was a little bit of a sex maniac. The Wall Street Journal reported earlier this month that Trump wrote a sexually suggestive letter to Epstein that was included in a 2003 album for Epstein's 50th birthday. Trump denied writing the letter and has filed a defamation suit against the newspaper. Epstein also remained on the membership rolls of Mar-a-Lago until October 2007. According to the Grifters Club, a 2020 book co-authored by reporter Sarah Blasky, he was barred from the club after hitting on the teenage daughter of another member. Who was that now that did that? Epstein, okay. In the statement, Jeffrey's family also said it was Maxwell who targeted and preyed upon our then 16-year-old sister, Virginia, from Mar-a-Lago, where she was working in 2000. Several years before Epstein and President Trump had their falling out. The family urged the government and the president not to grant Maxwell any leniency, saying that doing so would be one of the highest travesties of justice in history. Well, okay. A senior Trump administration official told Newsweek that no leniency is being given or discussed. Okay, what people are saying. Well, here's the family of the girl that worked at Mar-a-Lago. Her parents saying, no leniency is being given or discussed. That's just false. The president himself has said that clemency for Maxwell is not something he is even thinking about at this time. Okay, well, all right. Well, anyway, to me, that is just a very ugly story. I mean, it invokes ugly. And Ghislaine Maxwell wants immunity or a pardon before congressional deposition. Wow. She's in there for 20 years. She's going to be an old lady by the time she gets out. Harrison Ford, worth hundreds of millions, gripes about America under Trump. Rich get richer and poor get poorer. Man, he's looking old. Wow. What am I doing here? I should be showing all this stuff. I should be showing it. I should be showing it. Now, see, how can I do that? I could probably go like this. Go copy. Then we'll go back to there, and we could add a browser and put it in there and see what happens. You know, here we go. There it is. Now, I'm going to shrink it a little bit. Now, you can see it because you can go big, but not me. I'm going to get rid of that calling me. That thing is just too darn big. But you can call me, all right? Call me. I'll be around. Should just call me. I'll be around. Now, can I make that bigger? How can I make that bigger? I need to make it bigger. Bigger. Okay, let's scroll down, at least get it on something worthy. But you can scroll down. What is the problem with that? Huh. Well, how interesting is that? I'm going to close that for a minute. And since I can't open it, I'm going to try it differently. Let's go with the interact. Boom, 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 boom. Call me. I'll be around. The rich get you, and the poor get poorer. Well, so you can't quite. This interact thing is not the greatest thing I've ever seen. And so how am I going to ever? Does it get bigger? Can I make it bigger? Boom, boom. Bigger. Boom, boom. Big, big, big. Big, big, big. Big, 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 big. No. Oh, hey, that was good. Go bigger. Big, big? No. Big, big? Oh, there we go. Now. But now it could be hard to read. Okay, well, it is a little hard to read, but Harrison Ford, worth hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions. How did he make hundreds of millions? Hundreds of millions. Wow. Hundreds of millions. And he's going to mouth Trump over the whole deal. I always liked Harrison Ford, but knowing that he might be scumbagging. Now, so there's that magnifier. Oh, I see. I can hit the magnifier. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay, so when I'm in trouble, I just hit the magnifier. Now, how else can I do that magnifier? Boom, boom. What is that? Read from here. Read from here. What are we reading? I guess it's a cool concept, but yeah, has its difficulty in being able to pull it off. Okay, well, and then getting it to switch, getting it to scroll and look at it. I would have to do it on my other computer. Let's just close out of here. Let's go to we'll just do it that way. We'll go to this one here. Let's just close that out. Boom, boom. And now we are going to, we need the switcher. Where is the switcher? I don't see the switcher. I don't see the switcher. Display capture, image slide, media source, video capture device. Switcher. Well, let's see if that works. Boom, 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 and boom, boom. Okay, we'll go to 1. There it is. Okay. And, okay. And I imagine I can do the same thing by pushing some dang button. All right, well, as you can see, I'm having troubles. I don't quite have it all down, but the thing that I'm trying to get down here is this is reality TV. So it's reality TV. I am trying to be a broadcaster and deal with world issues, local issues. In fact, my goal is to create a newsroom for local internet stuff and have a news team that will supply my station with news. And then people will also be able to go to my site and they will be able to find out where to go to hear some music or get entertainment. And then I have my entertainment guy who will multi-camera shoot, video and create on TV, create TV. That's all there is to it. And the way I'll get the musicians is that I'll give you a video if you come perform, just be a guest on our show, set up. I don't know how long you want to play. We'll figure that out. We will record you. You will pay. and we will promote you. And it will promote our station. That's the goal. Oh, that's one of the goals. And then we'll, of course, have our news team of people for the space studios, and they will be telling all sorts of local stories that are in the mix of what has value, what is important. Oh, the mayor just bullshitted us on some story, and while at the same time she's harming the farmers by raising their taxes, who knows? And we need to keep an eyeball on the people involved in making decisions about where we live. And okay, well, I'm just gonna read this little bit now. I like the concept that this could be made bigger right here. I see, but I've only got that little window to do it. So I would have to read it over here. The early reactions to The Naked Gun are coming in, and according to critics, this is a comedy your funny bone can't afford to miss. The responses are near unanimous in saying this is a film that will have your sides hurting with laughter. And that's got one of my favorite guys. And we got what? Read more. Eddie Murphy. Huh. The common thread through just about all the social media responses to Naked Gun is that you probably won't laugh harder at any movie in a theater this year. So I'm going to go see that. I'm going to go see that today, in fact. Why not? See, and that's what I want. The local Cedar Hills Boulevard, with the Cedar Hills theaters. Man, nice luxury theaters. So I think I'm going to go do that. Maybe I'll take somebody with me. All right. Well, we're having a lot of fun here. And I also want to start looking up and being able to play music. Let me look up what else I have. Media Source. Yeah, we could do Media Source. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, and clickety-click. That's weird. I hate that. There's a certain problem with, I'm going to remove that. Some of these just don't show up right. Okay, well, I'm live. Call me. I mean, I'm needing somebody to call me, and let's get on with the discussion part of it all. Call me. I'll be around, so just call me. Now, if I hit this over here, that disappears, but not. That's because call me should be right up here. Let's move that down, see what happens. There we go. Call me. And then we need the phone number up there. Where's my phone number? Call me. I'll be around, so just call me. Let's see. What happens if I move that out of the way? Okay, I just did. Boom, boom. Now, does it show up that way? Let me hit studio mode. Yeah. So it doesn't... Who in the heck? How did that get in there? Well, I think it's time to, since I can't find that phone number, why can't I find the phone number? Why would I have got rid of that? Maybe it's because I really shouldn't have that, up there. Let's go with, let's just make one. What the hell? Call me too, huh? What's that got in there? Phone number there. Let's see if that does it. There we are. Let's shrink it down. Let's get rid of that call me. It's just 222, And I don't see the remove. There it is, remove. Yes, I want to remove it now. I'm calling the show the Talk About. Okay. And I don't know what I'm doing there, but I'm just going to get rid of that image slideshow. I see. Well, let's get rid of it. We don't need it. Okay. All right. So call me 971 379 1718. Call me irresponsible. Tell me I'm unconventional. Too. A too woo woo. Yeah. Okay, folks. This is really one of those special moments. Sure, if you have time, we can have a short phone call this Saturday. That way I can hear your voice too. What do you think? What is today, folks? What is today? Today is Thursday, the 31st. You know, I had to put this in there. I shouldn't, though. So, oh, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I guess I'm worried about that. That if I'm broadcasting, you worry about mistakes and all that. Like you're supposed to have it all just prepared and everything. But maybe you don't. Maybe you don't have to. Let's go to Switcher and just see if I got my phone on there, okay? We got the phone, and we got the phone. Oh, I need it on that one there. Okay, there we go. All right, what happened? Uh-oh, it went off. That's the old thing about these darn phones is they. Yeah, poor Elvis. His dad, is completely incapacitated. Uh, Alzheimer's so bad that he can't even talk or poop or pee. Or I mean, he can poop and pee without even trying. So, just laying there, dead, on live dead on the table, dead live. What a way to go. What a way to go. It's so bad. I don't know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm trying to look for something.
It happens out of nowhere.
5 teenagers sentenced to life in prison for Iraq. Just last week, Kenneth White was driving with a decorated birthday cake on the passenger seat of his car. He was rushing home to celebrate his youngest son's birthday. However, when crossing a highway overpass near Flint, Michigan, he saw 5 teenagers standing by the bridge and throwing something down. White instinctively dodged, but it was too late. The rock crashed through the windshield and hit Kenneth's face and chest. Before the ambulance arrived, he was pronounced dead from his injuries. When learning of Kenneth's death, his fiancée, Amy Cagle, tried hard to hold back tears and not let the children know the sad news in advance. In court, the 5 teenagers each denied that they had thrown the rock, but the overpass surveillance video recorded it all. Her defense attorney convinced the judge that they should be sentenced as juvenile delinquents, but the judge strongly disagreed.
The proposal for juvenile sentencing is rejected.
Applause came from the victims' families. Now these teenagers are facing life in prison. What do you think of this? Do you think this punishment for these teenagers is too severe? Please leave a comment to share your thoughts.
It happens out of nowhere.
5 teenagers sentenced to life in prison for Iraq. Just last week, Kenneth White was driving with a decorated birthday cake on the passenger seat of his car. He was rushing home to celebrate his youngest son's birthday. However, when crossing a highway overpass near Flint, Michigan, he saw 5 teenagers standing by the bridge and throwing something down. White instinctively dodged, but it was too late. The rock crashed through the windshield and hit Kenneth's face and chest. Before the ambulance arrived, he was pronounced dead from his injuries. When learning of Kenneth's death, his fiancée, Amy Cagle, tried hard to hold back tears and not let the children know the sad news in advance. In court, the 5 teenagers each denied that they had thrown the rock, but the overpass surveillance video recorded it all. Her defense attorney convinced the judge that they should be sentenced as juvenile delinquents, but the judge strongly disagreed.
The proposal for juvenile sentencing is rejected.
Applause came from the victims' families. Now these teenagers are facing life in prison. What do you think of this? Do you think this punishment for these teenagers is too severe? Please leave a comment to share your thoughts.
Jeez, that is, you know, stupid.
27-year-old father Sylvester Hayes was stopped by Dallas police while driving to buy breakfast for his kids. Hayes showed the officers his driver's license and registration, but within minutes, the situation escalated into a violent arrest. Police pulled Hayes out of the car and pinned him to the ground. One officer scanned Hayes' driver's license and then told another officer it might not be him. They mistakenly read Sylvester as Sylvester and thought he was the suspect wanted for theft. Despite the misunderstanding being cleared up, the arresting officer still forcibly took Hayes to the police station. Hayes was charged with resisting arrest and unlawful possession of a weapon, spending several days in jail. It was only after an investigation that revealed Hayes' weapon was legally registered under his name that he was released. During his time in jail, Hayes lost nearly everything: his car, his house, and even a recently secured security job. Hayes filed a lawsuit against the officers involved in the traffic stop in the city of Dallas, claiming excessive force and unlawful arrest. But his case was dismissed by the judge. Feeling desperate, Hayes now faces the challenge of finding another job to support his 4 children. He has decided to appeal to a higher court, challenging the officer's conduct in the judge's ruling. Do you support his decision to take action? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Well, geez, yeah. Cops have a What the heck is it? Turn down the volume on this thing too. It's just deafening. But look at that crowd. Wow.
You can tell Harris didn't expect that comeback. President Trump had it locked and loaded.
Well, let's get no, but Susan, this is important. I want to add, Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. You can have 15 more seconds, and then we'll...
She was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
You can tell Harris didn't expect that comeback.
Yeah, well, he's lots.
You can see the pain on her face, a mother, eyes full of tears, watching helplessly as her son steps into the ring, and standing across from him, a nightmare dressed as a man. Melvin Manhoef, a Dutch wrecking machine born in Suriname, raised on the unforgiving streets of the Netherlands, forged in the fires of European kickboxing rings. His reputation, a human sledgehammer, a fighter whose only goal is simple: knock you out. It's no wonder his opponents often look like they'd rather be anywhere else. When Manhoef charges at you, it feels less like a fight and more like a natural disaster. And that's exactly what he did against Yoshihiro Akiyama, the Japanese judoka. From the very first second, Manhoef came crashing in. A tornado of violence, wild and uncontrollable. Every punch carried the weight of a knockout. Every swing could have ended the fight right then and there. The crowd watched in awe, holding their breath. Even Akiyama's mother, watching from the sidelines, must have felt her heart sink with every bomb Manhoef threw. But in his hunger to finish things quickly, Manhoef made a fatal error. He got too close. And if you know anything about judo, that's the last place you want to be against the black belt. At that moment, Manhoef didn't feel threatened. He was betting on brute strength, the same raw power that had left countless fighters sleeping on the canvas. But technique doesn't care how strong you are. Akiyama only needed one grip, one arm, one small window. That's all it takes for a judoka of his caliber to turn the tide. Once Akiyama caught hold of Manhoef, it was like trying to wrestle with quicksand. The more Manhoef resisted, the deeper he sank. Suddenly, the fight wasn't about power anymore. It was about precision, leverage, mastery. The monster had been dragged into deep water, and there, in the depths of grappling, Melvin Manhoef was out of his element. Finally, Akiyama's mother could breathe. Her son survived the storm, not by matching power with power, but by using the wisdom of his art. You can see the pain on her face, a mother, eyes full of tears, watching helplessly as her son steps into the ring, and standing across from him, a nightmare dressed as a man. Melvin Manhoef, a Dutch wrecking machine born in Suriname, raised on the unforgiving streets of the Netherlands, forged in the fires of European kickboxing rings. His reputation, a human sledgehammer, a fighter whose only goal is simple: knock you out. It's no wonder his opponents often look like they'd rather be anywhere else. When Manhoef charges at you, it feels less like a fight and more like a natural disaster. And that's exactly what he did against Yoshihiro Akiyama, the Japanese judoka. From the very first second, Manhoef came crashing in. A tornado of violence, wild and uncontrollable. Every punch carried the weight of a knockout. Every swing could have ended the fight right then and there. The crowd watched in awe, holding their breath. Even Akiyama's mother, watching from the sidelines, must have felt her heart sink with every bomb Manhoef threw. But in his hunger to finish things quickly, Manhoef made a fatal error. He got too close. And if you know anything about judo, that's the last place you want to be against the black belt.
Okay, well, as you can see,
didn't feel threatened.
I'm a little rough around the edges, and
you can see the pain on her face, a mother, eyes full of tears, watching helplessly as her son steps into the ring, and standing across from him, a nightmare dressed as a man. Melvin Manhoef, a Dutch wrecking machine born in Suriname, raised on the unforgiving
we've
street.
already seen it. Let's go to here.
India is preparing to face higher U.S. tariffs between 20 and 25%. Is that what you're tracking, or what do you think the rate will be?
That they are going to pay 25%.
Yeah, that India is preparing to face higher U.S. tariffs between 20 and 25%.
Yeah, I think so. Look, India's they're my friends, and he's my friend. And, you know, the end of the war with Pakistan and my...
What the heck happened here?
request, and that was great. And Pakistan did also. You know, we did a lot of great settlements, including the recent one, as you know, with Cambodia, blah blah blah. So that was great. But I think that's been pretty well finalized now, right?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Did I do a good job on that one? I did a good job in about 5 different wars. You think I'll get credit for it? No. Will I get credit for it? She'll say yes. No.
Is the deal with India finalized?
No, it's not.
Okay. So what rate are you expecting?
Well, we're going to see. But India's been a good friend, but India has charged basically more tariffs than almost any other country. You know that, right? Over the years. But now I'm in charge, and you just can't do that. I think the trade deals are working out very well, hopefully for everybody, but for the United things are very, very good.
India is preparing to face higher U.S. tariffs between 20 and 25%. Is that what you're tracking, or what do you think the rate will be?
That they are going to pay 25%.
Yeah, that India is preparing to face higher U.S. tariffs between 20 and 25%.
Yeah, I think so. Look, India's been, they're my friends, and he's my friend. And, you know, the end of the war with Pakistan, and my request, and I was great. And Pakistan did also. You know, we did a lot of great settlements, including the recent one, as you know, with Cambodia, blah, blah, blah. So, that was a great one. I think that's been pretty well finalized now, right?
Well,
You can see the pain on her face, a mother, eyes full of tears, watching.
A mother was talking on the phone when her baby's stroller was about to fall. A poor old man caught it just in time. When the mother turned around, she saw the old man showing affection to the baby. She immediately shouted at him. The old man replied, "I was just showing affection to the baby." A man nearby ran over and shouted, "Were you trying to kidnap the baby?" A girl standing nearby also rushed over and said, "Yes, he was holding the baby." The old man said, "No, I wasn't kidnapping him. I just saved him from falling." Then another woman standing nearby told her husband to call the police. The husband took out his phone and began dialing. Everyone started surrounding the old man and getting more aggressive. People started yelling, "Beat him, beat him." The poor old man tried to explain. The baby was about to fall while his mother was on the phone. "I just saved him." But the mother insisted, "He was trying to kidnap my baby." Everyone began blaming the old man, one after another. A girl walked up and snatched the old man's radio, throwing it on the ground. The poor man looked at his broken radio, picked it up, and began to cry. He tried to run away, but two police officers caught him and brought him back to the crowd. The mother and the others told the police, "He was trying to kidnap our baby." But the old man kept repeating, "I didn't kidnap the baby. I saved his life." He was telling the truth. He had indeed saved the child. No one believed him. The mother kept saying, "He tried to kidnap my baby." And everyone else kept repeating, "I saw it with my own eyes. He was kidnapping the child." At that moment, the baby's father arrived and asked his wife what was happening. She said, "This old man tried to kidnap our baby." The father, filled with rage, moved toward the old man to hit him, but a police officer stopped him. The father shouted, "You tried to kidnap my child. I'll kill you." The poor old man kept pleading with the police, "I didn't kidnap the baby. I saved his life." After a while, the police officers handed the old man over to another officer and started talking among themselves. One of them said, "Let's take him to the station." The other replied, "No, something's not right." He looked around and noticed a CCTV camera. The officer called for the footage. When the video arrived, he watched it and said, "This old man is innocent." But people still shouted, "We saw it with our own eyes. He was kidnapping the baby." The police officer said, "Everyone, quiet," and showed the video to his fellow officer. After watching, they released the old man. Then the police showed the footage to the crowd, which clearly showed the poor old man saving the child's life. Everyone was stunned after watching the video. The old man said, "Told you I saved the child's life. I wasn't trying to kidnap him, but none of you were ready to listen to me. Look at how you treated me." Everyone stood there silently. The baby's father came forward, apologized to the old man, and said, "Please forgive us. I'll buy you a new radio." The police left the scene. People gathered around the old man, asking for forgiveness. The baby's mother held the old man's hand and said, "I made a mistake. Can you forgive me?" But what could the old man do except forgive them? He simply said, "Take care of your child." So viewers, can these people really be forgiven? Sometimes even what we see with our own eyes can be wrong. We should always investigate first before accusing someone. If you liked the video, don't forget to share and subscribe to the channel. A mother was talking on the phone when her baby's stroller was about to fall. A poor old man caught it just in time. When the mother turned around, she saw the old man showing affection to the baby. She immediately shouted at him. The old man replied, "I was just showing affection to the baby." A man nearby ran over and shouted, "Were you trying to kidnap the baby?" A girl standing nearby also rushed over and said, "Yes, he was holding the baby." The old man said, "No, I wasn't kidnapping him. I just saved him from falling." Then another woman standing nearby told her husband to call the police. The husband took out his phone and began dialing. Everyone started surrounding the old man and getting more aggressive. People started yelling, "Beat him, beat him." The poor old man tried to
This is just not quite what I was looking for here. So,
Blamed the baby was about to fall while his mother was on the phone. I just saved him, but the mother insisted he was trying to kidnap my baby. Everyone began blaming the old man, one after another. A girl walked up and snatched the old man's radio.
Yeah, well, see, okay, lesson learned.
This is proof that you never judge a book by its cover. Because when this man was recording himself at a bus station, a random stranger aggressively walked up to him and literally slapped his phone out of his hand. But little did he know that this man was a professional taekwondo fighter and was about to teach him a lesson. This is proof that you never judge a book by its cover. Because when this man was recording himself at a bus station, a random stranger...
Bruce Lee was not human. Bruce Lee could do one-finger push-ups. At just 130 pounds, he could launch people across the room. His punches were faster than a camera shutter. Bruce Lee was not human. Like if you didn't know that. Bruce Lee was not human.
Huh. Well, he was human, but
take effect. President Trump is restoring America's economic sovereignty by reducing our reliance on foreign countries, boosting investment in the U.S. to the tune of trillions of dollars, and creating hundreds of thousands of high-paying jobs for the American people. With America finally put first on trade and the largest middle-class tax cuts in history,
okay, we're going to go live.
Beginning to take effect, the American economy will boom like never before over the course of the next 3.5 years, thanks to the president's vision. Finally, as you all know, the president signed an executive order earlier this year to solve the problem of exorbitant pharmaceutical pricing. According to recent data, the prices that Americans have been paying for brand name drugs are more than 3
times as much. All right, what's going on here? Bullshit. She's going to prison when all is said and done. Say hi in the live chat. We've got ourselves a little stalemate here. Why do we have that going on? Why am I watching stuff and...
Right now, brand name drugs in the United States are up to 3 times higher on average than anywhere else for the identical medicines. This unacceptable burden on hardworking American families ends with my administration. Most proposals the Trump administration has received to resolve this critical issue promised more of the same, shifting blame and requesting policy.
Hall of Fame forever. Forever.
You know, I'm just getting sick of the bullshit of people wanting to...
The week before the election, because they were losing by a lot. If they had anything, they would have done it involved. And if they can do that in a fair way, I think it's great. I think it's really great. The whole thing is a scam. It's a scam set up by the Democrats, and they love talking about it. But I would like to see people exposed that might be bad. And we'll see how that all works out. But it's getting to be very old news. You know, if they had anything, they would have done it. Hold the file.
Okay, I'm going to say hi. Well, what happened? Is that it?
For companies, the government, and American patients. But if you refuse to step up, we will deploy every tool in our arsenal to protect American families from continued abusive drug pricing practices. Americans are demanding lower drug prices, and they need them today. Other nations have been freeloading on U.S. innovation for far too long, and it is time they pay their fair share. I look forward to your binding commitments to each of these goals by September 29th, 2025, and my team stands ready to assist with implementation questions. Thank you for your immediate attention to this vital national priority. Signed, President Donald J. Trump. Again, to the CEO of Eli Lilly, this letter in its form has been designed for each of the 17 major drug and pharmaceutical companies in the United States, and we're happy to provide you the full list. And I believe you will see all 17 letters popping on Truth Social very shortly, so you can look out for those, and I'm happy to take any further questions. Before we get to questions, I do have one other announcement from the White House and from the President. We are proud to announce that the construction of the new White House ballroom will begin. For 150 years, presidents, administrations, and White House staff have longed for a large event space on the White House complex that can hold substantially more guests than currently allowed. President Trump has expressed his commitment to solving this problem on behalf of future administrations and the American people. The White House is one of the most beautiful and historic buildings in the world, yet the White House is currently unable to host major functions, honoring world leaders in other countries without having to install a large and unsightly tent approximately 100 yards away from the main building's entrance. The White House State Ballroom will be a much-needed and exquisite addition of approximately 90,000 total square feet of innately designed and carefully crafted space with a seated capacity of 650 people, which is a significant increase from the 200-person seated capacity in the East Room of the White House. In recent weeks, President Trump has held several meetings with members of the White House staff, the National Park Service, the White House Military Office, and the United States Secret Service to discuss design features and planning. President Trump has chosen McCreary Architects as the lead architect, which is well known for their classical architectural design and based right here in our nation's capital. The construction team will be headed by Clark Construction, and the engineering team will be led by AECOM. The project will begin in September 2025, and it is expected to be completed long before the end of President Trump's term. President Trump and other donors have generously committed to donating the funds necessary to build this approximately $200 million structure. The United States Secret Service will provide the necessary security enhancements and modifications. The White House ballroom will be substantially separated from the main building of the White House, but at the same time, its theme and architectural heritage will be almost identical. The site of the new ballroom will be where the small, heavily changed and reconstructed East Wing currently sits. The East Wing was constructed in 1902 and has been renovated and changed many times, with a second story added in 1942. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has provided the following statement. President Trump is a builder at heart and has an extraordinary eye for detail. The President and the Trump White House are fully committed to working with the appropriate organizations to preserve the special history of the White House while building a beautiful ballroom that can be enjoyed by future administrations and generations of Americans to come. In the White House, we will continue to provide the American public and all of you in the press with updates on this project at whitehouse.gov/visit. And if you go there shortly, you will be able to see renderings and visuals of what this ballroom will look like, both the exterior and the interior. I have provided some photos for all of you in the room today. This is the interior of the ballroom space. It's quite beautiful. And then this is the exterior of the ballroom space. As you can see, it will come off of the executive mansion as it sits today, and the East Wing will be modernized and renovated. We're happy to answer any further questions on that, Jennifer. Since you're so eager, I will go to you, but first, as always, I want to start with our new media chief, Ben Weingarten. Why don't you go ahead, Ben?
Thank you. In light of the release, the declassification of the annex to the Durham report today, beyond any potential prosecutions, the outcomes of which will likely be uncertain, what does the President believe justice for Russiagate ought to entail? Might it include restitution for those whose lives were upended as a consequence of Russiagate, and perhaps a major reorganization of the national security apparatus?
Well, I think a major organization of the national security apparatus, at least here at the White House within the National Security Council, has indeed taken place, and the President entrusts his current CIA director, John Ratcliffe, and our ODNI director, Tulsi Gabbard, to make the necessary changes to ensure classified intelligence, especially that could implement or hurt the national security of our country, does not make its way into the hands of irresponsible actors who want to politicize that intelligence for their own end. Since you brought up the declassification report that was put out by Senator Grassley today, I'm glad you brought it up, because this should be a story every outlet in this room should be covering. This is further evidence.
While chatting with they do not start getting negative and start calling people out their names. They don't call people stupid. All they say is, yo, bro, I don't agree with that. Yo, nah, we don't agree with you. Nah, we don't think that's right. And then that's it. And you notice none of them ever get blocked. But the minute I start seeing you calling people names, I'm blocking you. I'm not even reading who you're talking to. I don't even care who you're talking to. If I see names in the chat, I'm blocking you, bro. I'm blocking you. Because I'm not calling you out of your name. I don't care who you are in the chat. You can outright disagree with everything I stand for, whatever. I don't call people in my chat out of their names. I don't call you no racial. I don't do none of that. So no, I'm not going to allow you to say it to nobody else or allow you to say it to me. And whoever you think you are, that you have some type of entitlement to tell me how I'm running my YouTube channel, last time I looked, 3 weeks ago, you wasn't just at like 3,000 subscribers doing over 100,000 views. And it's not boasting. It's called track record. If you have a better track record, then dictate to me what I should do to make my life better, how to make my channel a level up. That's what I do. Anybody who's a lower level than me, I try to help them. Look, do this. Do your videos like this. Write this. Upload at this time. I try to help people. So now if, like people like Harley, successful people, they give me a lot of ideas. I say this before and I'm going to keep saying it. When I got 1 million subscribers and over 1 million people live in the chat, I'm going to say it then too. My very first highest viewed video, the very first video that I ever got that did over 40,000 views, the first one, right? Prior to that, the highest viewed live I had was 5,000. On that 5,000 live feed, my guy Harley said, 5, you know about this India, Pakistan. Think you should do a live on that. I didn't really, did some research, did a live the next day. The 5,000 live, the 5,000 view live, that was my highest view live at that point. And on that live, he said this. The next day, I did the India, Pakistan. The next day, remember I told you, 5,000 was the most at a live at that point. 24 hours later, listening to what Harley told me, the India, Pakistan became my new highest live video. 5,000 Trump, the next day India, Pakistan, 40,000. The next day Trump, 15,000. Added to the platform in the positive 5, try this. At that time, I only had 1,000 subscribers. My channel was in a band. That's how I could tell who's who and what's what. And I just, speak with conviction and passion. You know, project factual commentary. List the 10 greatest accomplishments. Become a leader. Support and encourage others. See what I'm saying, bro? See what I'm saying, bro? I've been waiting for you to say something like that for over 60 days, bro. What are we talking about? Can you see this writing? Can you see this writing? Can you see this? Hella writing. Hella writing. What are you talking about? After that day, you told me to find, remember? Do you know why it's this small?
Well, I certainly don't want to sit and watch him. I know he's getting a lot of hits and stuff, and his point is probably pretty valid. You just got to become a big mouth and just smart aleck and ego and all that. In this world, that's what gets attention. So, yeah, doing it, man. Maybe I try to talk like I'm totally different. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to say it differently. Okay. Just going to say it differently. I think I'm just big shot, and I didn't have much of an education. I'm just gonna, I got a bigger mouth than anybody else, and people want to hear the big mouth, you know. I'm not going to talk about racial things here, because, some races seem to be able to blab better than other nationalities. So I'm really thrilled that this guy is just blabbing like the person he is.
It's getting replaced.
and say, I'm going to get 50,000 people, and we're going to get them some million people, and I'm going to get
So I got 2 monitors, and I'm doing edits out in public.
Man, I'm
because I just keep investing in the platform.
I know, I hear what he's saying.
I don't really know what
I don't either. Let's just say goodbye.
And other pro-growth provisions of the One Big Beautiful Bill beginning to take effect. The American
Where's
economy.
that big, beautiful bill? I'm going to just move on. Okay, what do we got here? It's just so hot. The sound is so bad in this one that I'm just going to move on. Yeah. Let's look at this fight a little bit. Who's that? Okay. Yeah, it was too bad that I thought the other guy.
Can I help you?
Lost his championship.
How many other people are here? Oh, just the one sleeping in the back there.
Shoot him, Tex!
Tex! Can I help you? How many other people are here? Oh, just the one sleeping in the back there.
Shoot him, Tex!
Tex! Can I help you?
Jeez, that was brutal. That was a lot of fun.
The Brazilian axe murderer is famed for his ferocious fighting style. He has annihilated every opponent in his way with utmost brutality, and his 22-match winning streak serves as the best testament to his prowess. When the Croatian warrior Cro Cop stood before him, everyone expected an intense and fierce clash in this battle. Just when people thought Wanderlei Silva's winning streak was about to end, he not only refused to admit defeat, but also, with a battered face, launched a furious counterattack. However, his once proud iron chin betrayed him.
Oh my gosh. Vanderlei's right side of his head.
The Brazilian axe
This
murderer.
is so popular. This is like the days of
These
the
5
Romans.
animal facts will mess with your brain. 5. Tasmanian devil. They spread cancer by biting. A contagious facial tumor only between them. Nature said multiplayer cancer. Number 4. Scorpion fly males trick others by pretending to be female. They steal the gift and give it to a real female. Fake it till you made it. Number 3, cheetah. They're so genetically identical. They can swap organs with no rejection, literally copy-paste felines. 2, sloth. They close their hands when they relax. That's why they don't fall while sleeping. Evolution on lazy mode. Number 1, female ferret. If they don't mate in heat, they die. Estrogen overload shuts down their body. Basically sex or death. These 5 animal facts will mess with your brain. 5, Tasmanian devil. They spread cancer by biting, a contagious facial tumor, only